this 8-year-old was dealing with a lot. This 8-year-old had a mother who did not know how to do hair, and she had an oldest daughter who would read the instructions and do the best that they could to put a relaxer on a child's hair who already was suffering from damage and breakage. And they didn't know about the natural hair, so they just called it nappy, and they did the best that they could with it. So when they put the relaxer on there, they oftentimes left it on there too long, which left the burns on the scalp that later would turn into infectious, pus-filled bumps and sores that had pus and blood coming from them. So much so that the skin was sour, and kids would make fun of this child for having smelly hair and being able to see the crust and blood that showed up from them scratching before the relaxer and it burning and them not taking the relaxer off their head in time. Now, this was just lack of knowledge. I doubt it was on purpose. However, after years of still struggling to get long, healthy hair and further damage and breakage, that child was taken away and later went into a home where she was able to be taken care of, and the hair was properly done with relaxers until that child turned 18. And when they turned 18, they still were using relaxers, but they understood, that there was a time limit for it to be put on there, and they had a little bit of success. It wasn't the same breakage and pus, sour-filled sores on the scalp like it was before. And in about 3 years, they would go to beauty school to learn the proper techniques for hair. But they had already knew how to braid since they were 8, but the hair was too short to catch. So they went to beauty school and they learned hair care maintenance techniques, all about chemicals, all about all of the processes for healthy growing hair. And that child was me. Yes. And that's my motivation. That's my passion. That's what pushes me forward when it comes to hair care and maintenance in my community, because our people lacked that knowledge in the past. And then that was back in the 80s where, drugs were running rampant and they did not have the critical thinking ideas to go to a professional and get this done. They were trying to do everything at home, cheap, and they didn't really have much help. So there's a level of forgiveness there, but as I move forward in progression, it's my goal to educate my community about, if you're gonna do it at home, do it right so that you're not causing further harm, which causes even more harm when other children are brutal about the things that they see from a child, and that child has to grow up with those insecurities and thinking that they can never have long hair, they're not capable, they're not worthy. We are always worthy. And I hope that this video of my beautiful daughter getting her hair, her natural hair, long natural, healthy natural hair, flat ironed, is a lesson that when you take the time to learn the knowledge, anything can be done. Also, to inspire families to just take better care of children's hair.